Hi guys. Hail and Merry meet everybody. It's MicheleMarieDalene. I'm sorry, I already finished myself. That's it. You don't get a chance to see that. Anyway, I'm gonna go home today before Turtle Wow. I'm gonna work at some other things. I just hung on my underwear, got those ready up on the line, and then I'm gonna take care of some other little projects. And I sent Chris Bliss some of the pictures and stuff so he can look at them close up. And as far as the diorama goes, the one I want to make, I think it could be done, because it's just going to take time to put the thing together. I can definitely see it being a possibility. As far as how big is the statue, MicheleMarieDalene IRL, I say about 24 feet tall, given the that's an approximation. So when she's sitting on her dais over there on top of the two locomotives, it definitely looks like she's about 24 feet. Just looking at the width of her and the height, it's almost like she's like that P-51 passenger locomotive laid on her side. About the same length and height and width as the P-51, which would make sense, because it would make sense that they could move the statue in by the railroad itself by putting her possibly on a flat car so that they could actually transport this statue in segments. So yes, I could definitely see that could be a thing. And also, of course, let's not forget too that the other little statue, the North American Snow Queen Convocation over in Wall Street, New York City, on December 20th, 2024. That would be pretty easy to make, because Chris has already experimented with Sculpey, so he's already kind of know exactly how he would do the dress, because I saw the work he was doing with the Sculpey and a prior piece of work. So yeah, maybe we can make that a reality. Last one, and not the least, is what about the Druid statue? The one that's just a statue and not on the dais and thing. I could think that could be a thing too. I really think that could be a thing. So I definitely would like to do that. And I definitely like the diorama, as I said, with the trace. I really do think we can make that. So let's talk about that real quick, about the logistics, because like everything in the world, there's always logistics, right? Yeah, you know what I mean. Okay, so when I was working on Alan Cohen's train board in 2011, see, this is kind of coming full circle. I kind of had some experience working with materials like foam, blue foam pieces, cutting blue foam pieces. I didn't have a fancy hot wire cutter or anything like that, but I can tell you the solid blue foam insulation is really, really easy to work with, even without a wire cutter. As long as you got a good sharp utility knife, you can make foam panels, and then you can simulate the floor tiles and put the railroad tracks in. It's just time consuming and messy, but would be a thing. It doesn't have to have two working locomotives on it. In fact, it doesn't matter if they run or not. If they do run, that's great, because that means that you could also eventually build the entire Silvermoon interior of the train station. You're only seeing one side of it. And I'm going to assume that the length of the station is about 400, 500 feet. Okay, maybe about the length of a football field. Maybe a little bit longer than that. So you're going to have this train platform. This is one of the two ends of the train station. The other one over by the doors going out on the north side to Quadanis is a similar layout. So over there it could be the two statues of Michele and the Jason Hernandez, the original creators of that train station. Or it could be used for something else, given the large size of it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think it would be cool to see how that would work. So I'm gonna look at that. I wanna see if we can make something like that. Getting some of the materials might be a little hard, but there's a difference. Unlike the Alan Cohen project, who was actually financing a lot of materials, it would be not financed with a patron's money. The rather would be financed through my own means. So it might take a lot longer. Number two, I learned a lot more since I started the Alan Cohen projects in design and layout of that train board we built for him in N scale. A lot more. Okay? And so I definitely could see how it could be a really exciting option. When you see the two diesel locomotives poking their heads out of the two tunnels, you know, each tunnel has two sets of tracks. Why is there a second set of tracks? Well, that was originally a mistake from AI, but I kind of liked it, so I kept it. And I also realized, realistically, why there might be a second set of tracks is maybe the railroad was considering of having a second set of trains going at the same time. So a total 4 train tracks going into the station. So 4 railroads, you know, routes. Now we have the passenger route, we have a freight route. We have a tourist train, we have the tourist train route. So why not have the tourist train route potentially come into the station? Well, the only thing is, remember, the tourist train is the Silvermoon Blood Elves designed it as a steam locomotive based on the USRA 060 design consolidation. And as a USRA 060 consolidations, what it also has is it's an omni-fuel locomotive. It can run on propane, it can run on natural gas, it can run on electric because it has an electric boiler heating elements as well. So it's not just powered by steam. It could be equipped for coal or wood, but right now it's primarily set for clean burning in Silvermoon. So which means if they want to pull that train in to pick up passengers inside the Silvermoon station, they could do so. There's also a platform outside and Quadanis side of the train station that goes also in as well. So you could theoretically get on the platform outside of Quadanis. I mean, side of the station and go to Quadanis, or you could so yes, I've been designing more than just Silvermoon. I've been developing the infrastructure systems, the transportation systems, the utility systems. They don't have natural gas per se. They mainly get bottled propane from Earth in bulk, and then they distribute the propane to all the buildings in the city. Now, there's a lot of advantages to actually doing it that way. First of all, this propane is easier to store. So if you have a large enough fuel distribution system, pressure is also reasonably safe to work with, of about, even right out of the cylinder, about 300 psig. So theoretically, you could just take the cylinder straight through, connect it down to a service manifold, regulator valve, bring the pressure down to about 60 or even 50 psig, and then send that gas, throughout the city, say in about, 24-inch to 48-inch pipes, diameter pipes. And that means that every home, business, whatever that needs gas can get the gas. Of course, if they'll have metering, obviously. So, the point is that unlike natural gas, like cryogenically stored natural gas, which requires temperatures that are way too cold to be safe to work with, this is a fuel that can be stored at room temperature and under pressure that's not too insanely high to work with. So yes, the blood elves would definitely want that. It saves a lot of complications, especially in a fuel depot. It also stocks gasoline, heating oil, kerosene, diesel. Now you have propane on top of that. Plus they also have a trash to gasification plant, where all their garbage and stuff is being recycled and being converted into methane, which they can mix with the propane to provide a little bit more of a nice fuel mix to give a little more combustion and BTUs per hour output. So yes, so I am doing these with Lumi on that. This project that we're working on right now. Also, again, like I said, we want to say thank you for all the people that did recognize our anniversary today as well. We really appreciate you remembering that today is a special day. Also, today is Galaxy Eye's birthday. So happy birthday, Michele. Happy birthday to you. Okay? And for now, I'm going to go home. We're going to get some things started on the next leg of our project for today. Yes, we did hang up the socks. We did hang up the underwear today. And tomorrow, Noodles, Increase Plus are coming again. We're going to be hanging out. Probably first at my house. Maybe tomorrow night. And then on a Saturday, there's a special event in Watertown, which will still be interesting. I think it's more for the kids, but there might be some activities for adults too. So it'd be worthwhile taking a look at it and looking at the things like the different types of trucks and things like that. Yeah. Alright guys, so for now, you all have a nice day, and we'll see you later today, okay? Bye-bye. Bye-bye, guys. Bye-bye.